So how do we turn a 5-number summary into a box plot? So here we have another set of data that has 20 numbers in it. So the first thing we need to do is find our 5-number summary. So we see here that the lowest value is 3. So our minimum, is 3. The next thing we want to look for is the median. So I have half my data here and half of it here. So in between 14 and 16 is where my median is going to be. So my median would be, just we need to leave a little bit more space. So the median is 15. And I look at this first half of the data, and there's 10 pieces of data here. So I want the one, or the place that's in the middle, the spot that's in the middle, would be right here. So this is the lower quartile. And between 11 and 13, we would have 12. So my lower quartile then is going to be, get this in the right place, it's going to be 12. So then we look at the next data chunk. So I've got my first chunk of data here. I have 5 pieces of data. Then my lower quartile is what separates the first chunk from the second chunk. Then I have my median. Then the upper half of my data I can divide into 2 chunks of data. And there's 5 pieces of data here and 5 pieces of data here. So if here's my median of 15, the middle of this data, my upper quartile is between 20 and 22, which would make it 21. So my upper quartile is 21. And then the last piece of data I need is my highest value. So my max is 51. I'm going to use these numbers to build a box and whisker plot. So what I need to do is draw a line at 3. So if here's my graph where I'm going to put the data, my number lines along the bottom, I find 3, which would be right here. I'm going to just draw a little line at 3. Then I go to my lower quartile, which is 12, 10, 11, 12. So I draw another line. My median is at 15. My upper quartile is at 21. And my max is at 51. And then what I do is, you see I've got 5 lines here. This is my 4 chunks of data. So here's chunk 1, here's chunk 2, here's chunk 3, and then what you can see is chunk 4, actually, it looks big, but it still only has 5 pieces of data. So what turns this into a box plot is I make a box around these middle 2 sections. So section 2 and section 3, that becomes the box. And then I draw a whisker out to this last bit and out to the first bit. So 25% of my data is here, 25% of my data is in this section, 25% is in this section, and 25% is in this section. So you see I've got my minimum, my lower quartile, my median, my upper quartile, and my max.